Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about peptic ulcer. This lecture is in English, and if you want to study in Hindi, just click on I button and you will get link of Hindi lecture, or you can directly visit to channel my student support system. What is peptic ulcer? Peptic ulcer is mucosal erosion in the esophagus, stomach or duodenum. Peptic ulcer is classified as gastric, duodenal or esophageal ulcer depending upon its location. If the peptic ulcer is in esophagus, then it is called esophageal ulcer. If it is in the stomach, then it is called gastric ulcer, and if it is in the duodenum, then it is called duodenal ulcer. Peptic ulcers are most likely to occur in the duodenum than in stomach. Gastric ulcer tend to occur in lesser curvature of the stomach near the pylorus of the stomach. Erosion starts in the circumscribed area of the mucous membrane, and this erosion may extend deeply in submucosal area, then muscles and even to the peritoneum after perforation. Causes of peptic ulcer. Causes of peptic ulcer are, we can discuss them one by one. First we will discuss about esophageal ulcer. Esophageal ulcer occur as a result of backflow of the hydrochloric acid, means regurgitation of the hydrochloric acid. This is also known as gastroesophageal reflux disease or GERD. This hydrochloric acid can destroy the mucosa of esophagus and esophageal ulcer develops. Peptic ulcer may result from infection with the gram-negative bacteria, that is Helicobacter pylori, which may be acquired or through the ingestion of contaminated food and water. Person-to-person transmission of this bacteria also occur through close contact and exposure to the emesis or vomitus. Excessive secretion of hydrochloric acid in the stomach may also contribute to the formation of peptic ulcers, and stress may be associated with increased secretion of the hydrochloric acid. The ingestion of milk and caffeinated beverages, smoking and alcohol may increase the hydrochloric acid secretion, and which ultimately becomes the cause of peptic ulcer. Familial tendency also have significant role or predisposing factor. Other predisposing factors associated with peptic ulcer includes chronic use of NSAID, means non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, alcohol ingestion and excessive smoking. Stress and eating spicy food may make the peptic ulcer worse and affects the healing or treatment of the ulcers. Clinical manifestations. Clinical manifestations of peptic ulcer includes normally the patient with peptic ulcer complains the dull gnawing pain, which is also known as hunger pain. Client feels that he or she is hungry, but actually he is not hungry. There is pain due to activity of acid on the ulcer, and burning sensation in the mid-epigastrium or sometime in the back. Pain is usually relieved by eating food because food neutralizes the acid or taking alkali. However, once the stomach is empty and alkali effect has decreased, the pain returns. Tenderness by applying gentle pressure on the epigastrium or slightly sometimes right to the midline. Other symptom includes pyrosis. Pyrosis means heartburn, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea and bleeding. They also are the clinical manifestations of ulcer. How you will diagnose that the client is suffering from peptic ulcer? First is history and physical examination. If the above sign and symptoms that we have just discussed, they are present, then we can understand that the client is suffering from peptic ulcer. And for confirmation, we can go for barium meal examination stool examination for occult blood, endoscopy and endoscopic biopsy. Treatment. The goal of treatment is to eradicate Helicobacter pylori and to manage gastric acidity. The methods for these are medications, lifestyle changes and surgical interventions. Medication includes antibiotics to eradicate Helicobacter pylori such as metronidazole, amoxicillin, clarithromycin, etc. Then histamine 2H2 receptor antagonist are given and proton pump inhibitors are given to treat NSAID induced ulcers and other ulcers which are not associated with H. pylori infection, such as lansoprazole, omeprazole, rabeprazole, etc. Lifestyle changes includes stress reduction and rest. It also includes avoiding smoking, drinking and less spicy diet. Surgical intervention includes vagotomy, it means cutting of the connection of the vagus nerve so that the pain sensations are reduced, with or without pylorotomy, pyloroplasty. Pyloroplasty means repair of the pylorus where the ulcer is there, and antrectomy. Antrectomy is removal of antrum or pyloric portion of the stomach and then anastomosis with either duodenum or jejunum. Nursing management. Proper assessment is done by health history and physical examination and a nursing care plan is prepared. Then nutritional history is very important in the assessment of ulcer patients. Patient is encouraged to discuss the problems, anxiety and doubts and concerns. The nurse assesses the patient's vital signs and reports tachycardia or hypotension, which may indicate anemia and gastrointestinal bleeding. Prescribed medications are given on time to reduce pain and increase the comfortness level. The patient is advised to avoid some drugs like aspirin, food and beverages that contain caffeine and decaffeinated coffee. The nurse assesses the patient's level of anxiety. Patient with peptic ulcer usually are anxious. Appropriate information is provided at the patient's level of understanding to reduce anxiety level. The nurse interacts with the patient in relaxed manner, help to identify stressors and explain various coping techniques and relaxation methods. The nurse assesses the patient for malnutrition and weight loss. After recovery from acute phase of peptic ulcer or peptic disease, the patient is advised about intake of proper diet and adequate nutrition. The patient is monitored for vital signs of for the signs of internal hemorrhage such as faintness, dizziness, and nausea. During surgery and post-operatively, the stomach contents are drained by means of nasogastric tube. It means nasogastric tube is in place and nasogastric tube care is provided. The nurse monitors fluid and electrolyte balance, assesses the patient for localized infection and peritonitis. IV fluids are given as prescribed to maintain IV fluid to maintain fluid and electrolyte balance post-operatively. Patient is also monitored for signs and symptoms of perforation such as sudden severe upper abdominal pain, vomiting, collapsing and extremely tender or rigid abdomen. So these are the signs of perforation. If perforation occurs, then it is an emergency. IV fluids may be started and physician and surgeon are informed immediately and preparation is done to prevent the client from shock. Intake and output chart is monitored, maintained. Health education is provided to prevent reoccurrence of the peptic ulcer during discharge planning, such as avoiding acid producing food material and avoiding the alcohol and smoking. Patient is advised to take medications as prescribed and return for follow-up if symptoms reappear. Thank you students for watching this video. You can subscribe the channel for latest update on such videos. You can like Facebook page, and for making your notes you can visit mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and join Facebook group Nursing Notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.